Hi guys, and welcome to today's fun little vlog. If you guys remember, a few months ago I did a video reading 500 books, so the time has come. We're upgrading this time. I'm doing a video today reading 600 books. Is this a bad idea? Absolutely. Let's just directly get into it. So if you don't already know, Goodreads kind of totals up the amount of books you've read and you've added to your read list. So at the moment, I don't know how many books my read list has, but it's very close to 600. I think I'm in the 590s or something. So we're gonna spend the week essentially reading together until I hit 600 on Goodreads, because that is crazy. In that point, I will have read more than half a library worth of books in my lifetime. 600 honestly is wild. So I'm taking you guys on the journey with me. Come along. I'm gonna go pick something up. I'm in the mood for Kindle reading right now. So don't know yet what I'm doing, but I'll, find something to read. We'll start reading together and we'll start kind of reading to accommodate and make up for the goal of getting 600 books. Because again, that is so exciting. That is so crazy. And there's no one I'd rather do it with than you. So let's just start. Hi guys, has it absolutely been a couple hours since I last spoke to you, but I haven't moved from my spot because I sat down and binged the last 30% of my book? Yes, I did. Honestly, you cannot blame me. I was reading a Freida McFadden because I read this author every single month at this point, trying to get through her backlist, and she's got me in such a chokehold. She's like one of my top authors at this point. I was reading The X by her. I had only 30% left on Kindle, so I figured might as well get it done with. And essentially, this book follows this girl, Cassie. Can I just say, before anything, I was binging this in big spurts wherein I read random long chunks and then look up and the sun's gone down, it's dark outside, time has flown by. So honestly, that was kind of expected and it was great. But this one essentially follows Cassie. She thinks she's found the perfect man, Joel. He's like a good-looking doctor. He's talented, he's hardworking, he's good at what he does essentially, and he's perfect in every way possible. So she gets with him. She's now his girlfriend. Except, she thinks the ex-girlfriend is out of the picture. She thinks his ex-girlfriend, Francesca, who was the perfect woman, talented chef, good looking, like a model or whatever. Everyone in his friend group speaks very high of her. The perfect lady basically is out of the picture, except, maybe she's not, because stuff starts happening. Cassie is, wondering if she's getting stalked or whatever. Other things are going on in the background. This had me on the edge of my seat. It was a really good one. And, honestly, Freida has done it again. 4 stars. The last book I read by her was a bit of a disappointment, but she's come back again, to slap me in the face with like 20 odd plot twists. I guessed maybe one out of them, but the rest of them really got me. It was really good. I enjoyed reading, and honestly now I can't wait to go pick up another one of her books, because genuinely whenever I get into her books, they kind of suck me into this world that I can't pull out of until I'm done with it. And they have me reeling with the plot twists. Sometimes she's a hit or miss for me, wherein sometimes it doesn't go that great, but when it does, it really goes amazing. And I feel like her books are very accessible or whatever to the general public, because she writes in such an easy, simple manner that you can literally binge it. And maybe that's the reason why she's getting so popular these days, because her books, they go really wild and they're really fun to read as well. Essentially, this was a psychological thriller. It's throwing shade on everyone, but there's other things going on in the background. It was really funny. Half the things I did not guess, and when they hit me, I was just like, no freaking way that happened. And it was a good book to read. I'm still in my Kindle mood though, so I'm gonna pick up another one, I think, on Kindle. There was a different one I was reading. I'm not really sure what it was called, but I'll go find it or whatever. I'll continue reading, I guess, and I'll see you guys in a little bit with more updates. When I hit 600, the video will stop then, so we'll just keep reading until I hit 600 books, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. Okay guys, so it's only been like a little bit later since I've last come in and spoke to you. I finished our next book. It's crazy how much I'm getting done in one night, because I haven't actually read anything over the past couple of days. I've been really busy, so now I'm getting back into my reading mojo. But I haven't finished like a huge book. It was just like a little novella, 40 pages long, out of which I'd read, quite a bit of it some time ago, so I was literally just finishing it up. Before anything, this novella, I think it was called The Night and the Butcherbird, was sent to me very kindly, thank you so much, by Amazon Original Stories. I have peaked here. That's all I'm gonna say. So thank you again for sending it my way. It actually comes out tomorrow, which is so perfect because I got it done today. Scrolling on Kindle, I had actually started it some time ago when it was sent to me, but I never, went around to completing it because I actually wanted to speak about it in a video since, it was getting me and it was getting me really good. The author, she's actually on my backlist or whatever. I want to go ahead and read her at some point. Some of her books are on my TBR, so it's perfect. This gave me like the perfect little teaser for what's to come in full-length books of hers. Essentially follows this like small town. There's like this, I guess, demon or something that's like kind of haunting it or whatever, and so you're on the perspective of the secretary of the town, or the storyteller or whatever, and this person's kind of telling you or taking you along with it and telling you what's going on or whatever. And there's like a knight that comes in to kind of hunt the demon, except there's more backstories and there's more to it, and all of this was packed into like a 30-something page novella. It's honestly crazy how much this author was able to get done in such less page time. Firstly, I'm going to say that, and secondly, the writing style of this book, so many excellent quotes that really got me. I feel like it was very Shakespearean but also modern day era, that you actually understand what you're reading, and it's so deep, it cuts you to the bone, to the point where you're reading it and you go back to reread what was written just because it hit with so much harder impact. Honestly, I had a great time reading. I won't go very in-depth to the storyline or the premise or whatever because it's only 30 pages long. If you sit down, you can literally get it done in like 15-20 minutes max. And so it was a good book to read, and I'm happy I read it. 4 stars. It was a great time. Honestly, if it was like a full-length book, it would probably be 5 stars because I had a great time. I'm not even joking. And yeah, I hope you guys pick it up as well because genuinely this is something, I don't know how, it dragged an emotional reaction out of me in like 30 pages, and that's crazy because I'm a very picky reader. So I had a good time reading, and this is about this book. After this, now I'm actually a little tired, so I'm gonna take like a bit of like a reading break or whatever, but I'll come back in some time. Over the past like month or so, I've been listening to like a bunch of audiobooks, accumulating them until I could speak about them in a video, which is this one. So what I'm gonna do now, I need to post a video tonight. When I'm making the thumbnail for it, I'll continue listening to one of the audiobooks I'm in the middle of, and we can finish that out, and I'll come speak about it I think tomorrow at this point because I'm too tired to do anything later today. I just have to go edit and post. So I'll see you tomorrow when I see you, and that's it. We got another book done. We're getting closer to our 600 goal. This is so fun. Already getting so much in, and it's so much fun. That's very repetitive, but I'm gonna say it again, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, so it's now the next day since the last time I spoke to you. I did end up going ahead and finishing one of my audiobooks out because here's the thing, I listen to like a bunch of audiobooks throughout the month to kind of reminisce all the random errands or chores I'm doing. Even when I'm making like YouTube thumbnails and stuff, I'm always listening to something or the other in the background. So I get through like a bunch of audiobooks throughout the month, and so I have like a few saved up that I specifically wanted to talk about. So I didn't go ahead and finish them, and now we're finishing them together. And so that is to say, I didn't have a lot left on the book I was listening to, and while I was making my thumbnail for the video that needed to go out last night, I ended up finishing it out. It was called Famous Last Words. I think it's a new release. I just read it, or I started reading it recently, listening to it, and I finished it yesterday, last night, whatever. For anything, I know this is supposed to be a thriller, but when I was looking through the reviews at the time of me starting it, the ARC review specifically, people said that it's more of like a slower fiction story. So knowing that context, I went into the book, and now I'll give you the premise. It follows this woman, Camilla. I think it's like summer solstice day or something is the longest day of the year, and she's already having a hard time. She's a new mom, so she's looking after her kid or whatever, and her husband, who is like loving and doting and the perfect guy, I guess, he's just not helping at the moment. He like walked out in the morning or something, and he left them this weird cryptic note, and she's just wondering what's happened or whatever. Later in the day, she finds out that his workplace over there's like this hostage situation that's going on, and so she's freaking out, worried about his safety, except cops come up to her and let her know that, oh yeah, your husband is not a hostage, he's the gunman who took 3 hostages. So that situation's unfolding. You're trying to figure out why he did what he did because it's out of character for him, and the book goes from there. It kind of alternates between the perspectives of Camilla the wife and Niall the investigator, so he's the hostage negotiator, and it's very slow. So before anything, make yourself prepared if you want to read the story to know it's gonna go very slow, but it hits hard. So for me personally, I knew it was more of like a fiction story than a thriller. I think that's why I enjoyed it, because already going into it, I was aware it's gonna be slow, which made it even better, because when the plot twist started hitting, can I just say, this might be one of the craziest books I've read. It's not a 5-star for me, it's a 4-star, because it was a little too slow, but I feel like if the pacing could have been, sped up or whatever, this definitely would have been a 5 on the basis of the plot twist we got, and I had a good time, listening to it, reading it, finishing it out. I will say though, middle, the little time jumps in the middle, I feel like were a little unnecessary, because there's like a 7-year gap after the hostage situation and no one really asked for that, and then again towards the end there's another 7-year jump. So honestly, don't know why that came in, but also it's more like a love story situation towards the second half, and I really enjoyed that too. And you know, it was a good book. I feel like the ending, it wasn't as great as compared to the plot twist or whatever, but it kind of wrapped it up and, you know, made up for it, and I had a good time reading, and now I can't wait to read more of this author's work. Now I actually want to go ahead. I read the Chestnut Springs series recently in like a different blog. You can go watch it, it's out if you want to, and I want to go ahead and kind of make like Chestnut Springs collages on my phone so I can have them printed out and then attach them to my book journal or whatever, my reading journal. So what I'm gonna do right now is actually go on to Pinterest. I think what I'll do is already find, you know, ready-made versions that are already made by other people, because people go into such detail when they make aesthetics of certain books, and you know, people are so smart, might as well take some of those and get them printed out, except I have to go find some. So I'm gonna go do that, and while I'm doing that, I'll listen to another one of the audiobooks I'm in the middle of, finish it out, and I'll talk to you guys maybe in like a few minutes only, because it won't take as long, and you know, by then we'll have like another audiobook complete. So I'll see you guys in a bit. We'll get the whole Chestnut Springs thing done, because I'm obsessed with that world. I kind of want to get, you know, further into it as much as I can. I want to fangirl, and this is the way I see myself doing so. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. Okay, so it's not much later. I have finished the book. Before someone asks, I don't have a lot left on these audiobooks. I was kind of saving, you know, the ending bits of it or whatever to kind of read or I guess listen to and then speak about in these videos. And then not just that, I listen to books on 3x speed, so it's gonna get done really fast anyway. And so I finished Garnet Flats. I think this is the next book in the Eden series, what I have left. And the last time I was doing this video, when I read 500 books, I actually continued the Eden series in that, so it just made sense to pick up the next book in the series. I actually picked it up because it's, you know, small town, it's very tight-knit community, and I was hoping it would give me Chestnut Springs. Not only did it not give me that, I feel like it may have put me in a mini slump, because I hated every second. It follows this woman, Talia. She had this like really crazy, really like lovey-dovey relationship with this man in the past, and you know, she felt like he was the one, he was it, except he comes up to her one day and he just breaks things off because he's marrying her best friend. So fast forward like 7 years, he comes back into her life. Apparently he left the best friend, he's got his own reasons, and he's trying to win her back now. And you know, in retrospect, apart from the whole best friend thing, I feel like the groveling, the second chance, it should have been right up my alley, because that's my favorite kind of stuff to read. But I hated it, every second of it, because number one, their relationship, I feel like every relationship in this book feels very physical. Nothing can ever live up to the Chestnut Springs series. I don't even know why I'm trying. And so, you know, that let me down in another aspect, even though it's my fault personally for having tried to compare. And then not just that, I feel like things just escalated so fast between them. We hardly had any groveling. I didn't enjoy that. And this also has the trope wherein the ex has no boundaries and keeps trying to push into the life. So I don't know if this is like a recurring thing or whatever, because recently I read like the new Ali Hazelwood book. It's called Deep End. In that too, the ex should have been the main character. The best friend in this book should have been the main character, because of how she's butting so often into their lives, trying to control decisions. There's no boundaries. I hated every second. There was so much about it that honestly I don't enjoy, and now this is reminding me why I don't like this series. I feel like I'm still gonna keep reading it because it's very easy to get through. I get down with them so fast, and you know, it's good if you want something quick, but if you want something that you actually enjoy, I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend this, because this again, it had me so annoyed and infuriated half the time. I was mad at the characters. I feel like this series, as each book comes, it progressively just gets worse, and so read it if you want to. For me, this wasn't it. I'm giving it 2.5 stars, and we're gonna move on to the next book now. Hopefully that'll be better. Again, I don't know what I want to do yet. Maybe I'll go look at it, and also I really want a reading journal now, because I haven't done, you know, some updating, some spreads. We can do it together. So I'll pick my next audiobook up. We're finishing up the audiobooks I have in my backlist now, and then after that we'll pick something again on Kindle, because I'm in my Kindle mood too. So we shall see what happens next. I'll see you guys in a bit. Hopefully it gets better now, because I'm sick of giving books 2 stars because of how much I don't like them and then speaking about it, because that just annoys me. So see you guys in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, I hope you're not getting sick of me coming in every few minutes, at least for me, on screen every couple minutes to come speak about books. But listen, this is my, you know, favorite thing to do, so hopefully you're not getting mad at it. But I finished another audiobook I was in the middle of. I think this is the second last one. There's one more after this, and then we can go back to Kindle reading until we hit 600, so it's not that bad. I finished Never Say Yes to Your Boss. At least that's what I think the title is. It's so long I kind of forget, but I started reading this because it's got marriage of convenience trope. That is my favorite trope I think of all time, because I read this one romance book a few years ago at this point, Marriage for One. That's the best one I've read in my life, and so had to pick this one up. It's shorter in comparison to the other things I read. I think it was under 200 pages, which is why it got done so fast. And I still haven't finished reading journaling. I'm still penciling things out. I'm kind of drafting my way through it, so maybe if I finish something, if I finish like a spread, I'll show you. But unless I don't or whatever, then we'll just move it on to some other vlog when I actually get it done. For the book though, I am done listening. This essentially followed this girl. She kind of had like a family situation going on wherein she kind of needs money, and at the same time her boss, who she kind of likes, offers her, I guess, like a way out of it. His family has this thing wherein if they want the will money or whatever, again, this is like such a common trope. If they want the inheritance, they need to get married off or something, so they kind of make this deal. He's paying her to marry him for 6 months, except as it turns out, he lied to her. He paid her to marry his older brother, who she doesn't like at all. So it goes from there. It's not very grumpy sunshine. There's other things going on. If you want to check triggers, you can check them because it goes deeper, but their connection was very physical. If you want to read it for the of the rom-com, so it's very comedic. Read it for that. The romance fell flat, but it was good regardless for what it was, and I had a good time. I feel like there were certain scenes when I was literally just cackling because it was so funny. So 3 stars, just a basic the book. And now we'll get on to our last audiobook. Again, don't know how much reading journal I'm getting done in this video, but I'm having such a good time. It's so soothing and relaxing. Honestly, I'm just gonna go keep doing it, and I'll see you guys in a bit with more updates. Bye. Hi guys, so it's been a couple days since I've spoken to you last. I did get the book I was listening to at the moment when I last spoke to you done that very day, but also I got busy after. Haven't been able to take out the time and come speak to you, so here we are now. Before anything, while I was listening to the previous audiobook, the one I was getting done, I actually went ahead and did my nails because I realized I hadn't done them for like a month or so I did this like dark pomegranate color. So obsessed with it. I feel like every time I do my nails, it just turns out better and better, and maybe I'm like slowly training at it, and now I really just want to start my own nail salon because that would be so fun. Is that a great solution? No, it's not. Is that ever gonna happen in real life? Probably not either, maybe in like a different universe. But back to the original story, I did get our book done while I was getting my nails done too, and now my nails are done, my book is done. That's kind of perfect. I was listening to, I forget what it's called, I think it's called Eyes on Me or something like that. No, I think it's called Give Me More. I'm so confused between different titles of the series because they all just feel so similar to me. I feel like the plotline in all of them is very, you are faced with the situation that's going on that's like a little forbidden romancy, and then something happens, the characters get together, there's some sort of conflict, end of story. I feel like that's just the plotline for the entire like series. I don't even know why I'm reading it. I think it's my fault. I don't want to, but somehow I come back to it every single time. This is another forbidden romance. I wish I checked the summary of the book before I started it because it's absolutely not my thing at all. Started it regardless, went in completely blind. I'm kind of regretting that. Even though I'm done at this point, I gave it 2 stars. For context, it follows, I think, the married couple in the group and their friend Drake. Can I just quickly say, already I forgot so much about it, so it's not even worth speaking about because I don't be, hating on books the entire time on my channel. I'd rather take the time to speak positively about them. So we're just gonna skip past, but I will say, I didn't enjoy it. I feel like the series just gets progressively worse, like the Indigo Ridge books I was talking about earlier in the video, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just me as a reader, it's not my thing, so maybe I should just stop it rather than continuing it. But then also for some reason I do it anyway and then I regret it. So this is another thing I'm gonna add to my to-do list of never completing like the series because it's not my thing. I don't know why I'm forcing myself through it, but yeah, here we are. That's another book done. And lastly, I did end up going ahead and picking something out on on Kindle because I wanted to read it so bad. For the past few months, I've been speaking about reading this one specific book. It's called Summer Romance by Annabel Monaghan. I think I can collectively name like 4 different videos where I've spoken about reading it but haven't actually gone ahead and done so. So I finally decided that okay, what would be more iconic than reading this book as my 600th book of my life, and that would be perfect. So I started it. It essentially follows Ali Morris. Her mom has passed away and now she's getting separated from her husband. So like a lot has gone on in her life and she's not feeling her best. And the separation with her husband, the divorce, she kind of realizes as she's going through with it that in marriage she kind of lost her own identity as a person. So she's kind of navigating life, self-exploring, except one day she goes to a park. The meet cute in this book is so sweet. It's a dog park, so she brings her dog along. The dog pees on this guy and the meet cute is with the guy Ethan, and that's where it goes from. Can I quickly just say, Ethan added on so much to Ali's life. Ali had lost herself, and in her journey of like self-exploration or whatever, her relationship with him is adding on to her life rather than taking away like her relationship with her ex-husband did. And so far I'm having a great time as expected. It's Annabel Monaghan. I don't know why I was dealing it all these months, and now I'm so excited for her new book because I've read I think all of the books on her backlist, the adult contemporary romances, and now I need more. So this isn't like a contemporary romance, it's more of like a women's fiction with like a subplot of romance. And again, don't let the cover and title fool you. I feel like absolute shit while reading this book because my heart is being literally torn apart. There are certain lines in this book that are really getting me, and this author knows exactly how to write just the way she should write. There's no excess in her writing, but it's also to the point and there's nothing lacking. I don't really know how to explain it. People have done a better job on BookTube than me, so go off of their word probably. But can I just quickly say, having such a good time. I'm mad at myself for having put it off, and I'm gonna go keep reading. Honestly, I feel like all of her books do it for me. It's still not as good as Nora Goes Off Script, but it's really good otherwise. And yeah, I'm gonna go keep reading. I'll speak to you guys about it hopefully soon, hopefully in like a quick update later, because I was reading it for most of yesterday while I was out somewhere, and most of it's complete. I just need to lock in for like a little bit now and I'll have it done, and then we'll have a 600 book done too, which is crazy. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. This video has been short. I can't really help it. I'm so sorry. I'm really trying to not do that, but here we are. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. I just finished. I thought I had more than I actually did, because the end of the book, it had like author talks and stuff. She was talking about her book. She was talking about, book club discussions and stuff, which, I've skipped over for now, but I will go back over at some point. The story is done for me. I thought it was longer. It wasn't. I really wish it was, because I feel like whenever I'm reading this author's work, I just want more from her. I want anything I'll get from her, and it always feels too short to me because I wish there was more. She is one of my top authors for good reason, because this book, I don't know if I said it the last time around, it has so many different themes in it. It's got the theme of like motherhood and grief and like just being a woman and self-exploration, self-navigation, going through like a toxic relationship and kind of coming out of it, and then only looking back and realizing it was toxic rather than realizing in the moment that what you're going through isn't like right or whatever. And then moving on from that, there's the romance with Ethan. Obsessed with him, love him so much. Even the cover, when you look at it, again, this is me going very deep where I probably shouldn't be because it's not that deep, but again, maybe it is, who knows. If you look at the cover, there's more emphasis and focus on the woman, and the man is barely cut off in the picture, and that's basically the point of the story, because you're following Ali's life, and her relationship with Ethan is not her life, it's just adding on to it. And I love how the emphasis is still on Ali, but then she's evolving as a person with her relationship with Ethan, and like, honestly, this is really getting me. I wish this was like the book club pick for this month. I'm so mad it wasn't, because this would have been the perfect book to discuss. There's so much going on in this that I feel like it's a lot to unpack, and I wish I hadn't like speed read it over the past couple of days, but also I wish I read it at the same time in like big chunks in like one sitting, because I feel like it would have hit me harder in that sense. But regardless, I feel like this book found me at the perfect time in my life, because the way everything is spoken about this in this book, I feel like I related to so deeply. I don't even know why certain one-liners hit me and I start tearing up for no reason, even though it's not supposed to be that deep. There was this one thing about having a dog at every point in your life. If you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. And tell me why the waterworks started. Alright, that's all I'm gonna say. So I don't want to ruin this book for you, but definitely keep in mind that it's more heavier and it's got more of like an emotional impact going into it than you would expect. And again, I feel like with her romances, they're more about the emotional connection than the physical, which is really what I prefer. And this, for some reason, it felt very adult, like in a good way, because I feel like other romance books we read, there's always some sort of mess, there's, you know, bad communication, there's stuff going wrong, shit going down, and you're just mad at the characters. Here it felt so realistic because they both have their own separate lives and they're still trying to make it work, and he's there only for the time of the summer. He's come to sell his parents' house off or whatever in their little like small town, and so it's like, you know, the beach coastal setting, and she's just with him for a summer romance. It's gonna be over at the end of summer and they're trying to navigate through that little like short phase of their life, but also a summer romance is worth it because regardless of how it's gonna end or whatever, you still had the pleasure of knowing that person and loving them for however long. And can I just quickly say, so much about this book resonated with me. I will say still though, I feel like nothing beats Nora Goes Off Script by this author, but this is a very close second, and honestly, I love her work so much. I can't wait to read more by her. I'm so excited for the new book that comes out this year. I'm even more pumped now that I finished this because now I can't wait to get into that. And reading this really reignited my love for her, even though I literally just reread Nora Goes Off Script a month ago. There's like a whole video on that if you want to watch it. And the thing is, the way she does her things, it's so realistic, it's so sad, but also it feels so akin to life. I feel like not a lot of books have mastered that. I feel like Emily Henry really does that well. Apart from them, I don't really know more authors who do, I guess, their books the way it feels like it's realistic, but also at the same time it's still a story and it's still getting you emotionally keyed up and you're wondering how a book with little pages is doing that to you. So if you've got author recommendations for that, let me know. I know Abby Jimenez is a popular one for the same sort of like storyline aspect that makes you feel that way, so I have got a couple books of hers on my shelf. I will try it out at some point, but that's what I mean when I say I need to read more of these sort of romances wherein I know it's gonna hit me hard and I need to go and still make my way through all the emotional impact because I know I'm gonna enjoy it that way, because this is the kind of book I actually enjoy reading rather than all the other, you know, annoying ones. And this is what I call my top tier peak romance, because this is just the top of the hierarchy chain. There's nothing that beats this at this point. Another really quick thing I wanted to say is that this feels like a comfort TV show. It's just something random that came up. Can I quickly just say, when you look at the story, when you look at the characters, every time I'd open my Kindle screen or open on my phone, because I had to sync through with Kindle because I was outside, like I said, for most of yesterday, whenever I'd sync in and I'd continue reading, I felt like I was back in, say, like the story of New Girl, which, by the way, this is like a really weird comparison. The storylines are nothing alike, but the way I feel when I start watching New Girl, like you have your comfort characters, your comfort TV show, your favorite people in the world, you're watching them go through their life and story. This feels very much like that because it does have like a, you know, plot line that it's following, a linear storyline, but at the same time it's got, you know, other things coming into play. There's other different, I guess, tropes or whatever. She's navigating her relationship with her kids, but at the same time she's going on and looking after her next door neighbor, and there's so much to her life, you know, than just the romance, and that just, you know, adds on to it. It feels very, I don't know, comfort showy to me, and I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it 4 stars for now, simply because I feel like I need like a couple days to process it before I really give my actual rating. However, this video does go out tonight, I believe, so I don't know when, you know, by that time if I have like a solid rating. So by the time I edit this video in a couple hours, if I do have a solid rating for the book, I'll have it on screen, but otherwise I'm just gonna leave it at a 4 and I'll update on my Goodreads if I want to up it to a 5 at some point. That'll probably happen, but I really just want to take the time now to kind of absorb the message of this book and take away from it rather than, you know, impulsively, irrationally, recklessly rating it, because that's what I do with a lot of books. But this is the kind of, you know, thought-provoking stuff that you really need to take a moment to absorb. So I'm gonna go do that, but that's it. We have hit 600 books. We have gone ahead and finished it out. It's so crazy that, you know, it went by so fast. We literally did in 3 days, and while we were doing this, I actually got the books I picked out for my monthly TBR done as well. So that's so crazy. It kind of, you know, repeats another concept I'd done for a video some time back. So, you know, that's fun too. Except really quickly, I just want to say, I will put on screen that we've read 600 books, but for some reason when I added Summer Romance to read, it shows me 601. The same issue happened to my Goodreads when I was reading the 500 books video, doing that, wherein it skipped 500 to directly 501. So I don't know why that happens. It skipped 600, so it says 601. you're just gonna have to ignore that. But that's it, we have gone ahead and read 600 books. If you had a fun time coming along with me doing so, even though I know this week's vlog is shorter than my usual, like, comment, share, subscribe. YouTube things. I know some people are finally gonna be so happy that I'm done reading summer romance, because I've been putting it off for so many months, and I hate myself for having done that, because I had this masterpiece on my shelf that I just did not get to, and I'm a little mad at myself for it. But regardless, I'm happy to have finished it. If you've got similar recommendations, definitely leave them in the comments for me. But that's it for today's reading vlog. I'll see you hopefully very soon in my next one, and until then, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care and bye. See you.